I want to share what's on my mind tonight, and the reason is this. Everyone who hears this call is concerned with building their business. That's the purpose of the Tuesday night call, is to support you in building your business. The reach of the call is good. Many people pick it up through the virtual office. A good group of you listen to us as we do it each Tuesday night. And some people use our call, this conversation, to build their own conversations and send that and share it with their group. All of that is fantastic. The reason that this call matters to me is while your goal, your process, your practice, your purpose is to improve your own business, to build your business, my task, my passion is to build you. And so I think there are two challenges that we have. One is exploring and understanding and being capable of handling what takes place between two people when one person hears another person's need and the other person realizes that they have a solution for that need, and then we build that bridge that we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks, about bringing one person's desire for solution to another person's ability to provide that solution, which is what we have in our product and our opportunity. That's clearly stated, but the challenges are in those two areas. Number one, how do I improve that ability when I first reach out and touch someone, engage someone, talk with someone, meet someone, run into someone I haven't talked with in a long time? How do we handle that? I'm going to leave that for another time because I think the key to that is being able to understand that emotional connection and listen intently until we learn where that emotion lies, match that emotion, and then move forward. And that's a call that we're preparing, and we'll do it another time. I want to flip to the second problem. The second problem is the development of people. In order for you to develop your business, you have to become a leader. And I want to talk about some qualities of leadership tonight that I think matter. In order to lead, you have to become the person that other people will want to follow. That's from John C. Maxwell, one of my mentors. If you can become the leader you ought to be on the inside, you will be able to become the person you want on the outside, and people will want to follow you. And when that happens, you'll be able to tackle anything in the world. John Maxwell also speaks about being in the moment. Steve Scott speaks about this as well, being in the moment and making that assessment of the value of right now and understanding that success is happening right now. Because you're listening to this call, you are successful. Because you've chosen to change your course, you're successful. Because you have decided to help other people, you're successful. Now, you may not yet be where you want to be in terms of how you measure the outcome of that decision, but you're successful because you're in the process. The happiness comes in the moment, and Steve taught me that brilliantly, and I appreciated him for that. So how do I know if I'm on that path? How do I know if I'm becoming that leader? And more importantly, how do I know if I'm developing people who can be an impact in my business? How many times you recruited someone, you thought they would become someone great, you thought they would give you performance, and they didn't? What is it you were looking for when you recruited them, or were you just simply happy that they agreed to look at the opportunity or they agreed to take the product? In order to build others, I've got to look more deeply at the people that I want to invest my time in. So let me share this with you. Actions are the real indicator of character. Since talent is a gift, character is a choice. And it's character that brings lasting success with people, because strong character is the foundation on which you build success. Character, in my estimation, is most clearly defined by integrity, and action reflects what my integrity indicated. That's why I love the Eric Worre Challenge. What do you need? How much time will you give yourself to learn the skills? And what will you be doing each week to get those skills and make that victory for yourself? For example, I was on the phone with someone recently who's a little inactive, but they still want to be a part of Max, and I said, how much do you need to make with Max International? He said, I need to be a bronze. I said, great. That's a good objective. How much time are you willing to invest in that? He said, 30 minutes a week. I said, I gulped, and then I said, okay, How about an hour a week? Okay, that could be challenging, but I can do that. Why is it challenging? Because life, wife, and everything else gets in the way. Okay, now that speaks of goals, that speaks of commitment, but there's a skill set that allows me to understand how to interstitially put together effort on behalf of achieving my business growing plan, if in fact that's what I want to do. But you're stating to me that you want to build, so what is your integrity? So he said to me, I want to be a bronze level associate, and I'll invest an hour. I got him to commit to an hour. I said, okay, how much time will you take to become that level, to build your organization to the point that you're receiving a bronze level of income or a bronze level of group volume? And he said, 2 months. Now, you're gasping at this point, because to achieve that in an hour effort per week in 2 months, that's 8 weeks, that's 8 hours. In 8 hours to be a bronze. If I can teach you how to be a bronze in 8 hours, we can turn the world around, because we'll find 100,000 people who will gladly give 8 hours to become a bronze. Now, I'm not saying there aren't people who can do that in 8 hours, but they would come uniquely qualified with a lot of leads, a lot of ability, and a lot of desire. So it's actions that are the real indicator of someone. So when someone says to you, I will do that, the first thing to do before you invest very much time is to look at their actions. Or as a leader, since your goal is to develop other people, if I can look at the person and say, okay, you tell you what, here's a task, give them 1 or 2 very simple tasks and see if they perform those tasks, if they create that action. If they don't create the action, then you haven't become yoked with them, they are not yet committed to becoming what they told you that they wanted to do. And this is where most people fall. Most people do not really want to change. Commitment separates the doers, those who create action, from the dreamers. To the boxer, it's getting off the mat one more time than you've been knocked to the mat. To the marathon runner, it's running another 10 miles when your strength is gone. To the soldier, it's going over the hill, not knowing what's waiting on the other side. To the leader, it's all that and more, because everyone you lead is depending on you. When you improve your commitment and you look at how you spend your time, are you really committed? Which is why making your plans public is important, because then others will realize your commitment and they will follow through with that because they understand what you're doing. So far we've discussed character, action, talent, recognizing that talent is a gift, commitment, and before we go into communication, let me just point out that as you assess the people you bring into your team and you look at the people that you want to become the builders for you, realize that natural gifts are already in place, and gifts of choice, or the gifts that I can learn. For example, if I have a natural ability to speak, I had that before I met you. Can I improve it? Yes. If I'm already equipped at a natural ability of a 4, you're going to have a hard time moving me more than a point, maybe to a 6. If I'm already an 8, getting me to 9 is going to be challenging. I've got to get myself to a 9 or even a 10. But to bring into my organization a speaker who's a level 8 or even a level 7 would be an awesome thing. But where can I make the most change in someone? It's those skill sets that are choice. For example, diligence. I choose whether to be diligent or not. I choose whether to work hard or not. I choose whether to follow up or not. Those are the areas that you can take someone who's at a 3 and make them a 7 or an 8. Someone who's at a 2 and make them a 5 or a 6. But keep that in mind as we look at these qualities of leadership, because it's imperative that we develop them in order for people to follow us. Remember, you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. So what do I want? What do I need? What does my business, my organization have to have? It has to have strong people. This is a harsh statement. Maybe it doesn't have strong people because I'm not yet a strong person myself. Maybe I can't attract the people that I need. That's not a condemnation. That's an opportunity. That's an awareness. That could open up your business like nothing else during this call than for you to take an assessment of where you're at and say, you know what? It requires some humility. Let's talk about communication. As you listen to this call, please take notes and assess yourself first, and then start looking for your team and assessing your team so that you can move them up the scale of better performance in each of these qualities. Communication. Without communication, you travel alone. One consideration is to simplify your message. It's not what you say, but it's also how you say it. Really care about your audience. I love the fact that so many people come to this business because they want to make other people's lives better. They want to help people. But the reason they can't help people is they haven't yet decided that they want to help themselves. Because as I help myself and I raise myself, then I can help other people. So if you really care about your business and you care about your people, show the truth. Believe what you say. Live what you say. Seek a response from people. The goal of all communication is action. Developing excellent communication skills is absolutely essential to effective leadership. The leader must be able to share knowledge and ideas to transmit a sense of urgency and enthusiasm to others. If a leader can't get a message across clearly that motivates others to act, back to the action concept again, on their idea, to act upon that message, then having a message doesn't even matter. And that statement comes from Gilbert Amelio, but think about that concept. I say to my team, let's get out there and make presentations, and no one does. And I say, my team doesn't move. Maybe the problem is in my sense of urgency, my enthusiasm, or my ability to convey to them what we're trying to get done. I think it's critical that if we're not achieving what we want, we have to look inwardly, always, constantly. In this culture, we don't listen. We send text messages. We send messages. We're bombarded by messages, but we rarely listen. And if you don't think that's not true, with your personal partners, your concerned relationship people, look at how difficult it is for you to listen. The next time you're with someone that you care about, listen. Intently listen. Shut off the phone. Don't respond to the phone. Don't sit with your arms crossed. Sit up in the chair. Lean forward towards the person. Look them in the eye and listen with all of your energy. Have you ever realized that the two words listen and silent are created from the same letters? The ear of the leader must ring with the voices of the people. A good leader encourages followers to tell him or her what they need to know, not what the leader wants to hear. I think listening is one of the most challenging parts of our culture because our technology allows us to glance at messages, to respond with a digital message or image, and we never really have to just be quiet and listen and let the other person express what they're looking for. Because as we listen, we will hear the ways in which we can serve them. Let's talk about passion for a second. A dear friend of mine attended a class with me. He was a director of physics. I've mentioned him many times. His name was Dr. John A. Schluter. He was asked by a student, how do they know when they find their career? So I asked that of you. How do you know you found the business you want to build? And the answer was one word, and I was impressed with this. Dr. Schluter said, in one word, passion. Concentrate on what you do well and then do it better than anybody else. According to John Schnatter, the founder of Papa John's Pizza, what makes it possible for people who might seem ordinary to achieve great things? It's passion. More than 50% of all CEOs of Fortune 500 companies had C or C- averages in college. Nearly 75% of all U.S. presidents were in the bottom half of their school classes. More than 50% of all millionaire entrepreneurs never finished college. But every one of those people are passionate in the area in which they have demonstrated excellent performance. And that has made the difference. And passion is an energy, it's a caring, it's a concern that comes from the heart, that is real, that is intense, and is recognizable by other people who see you. And when you connect with them by listening, they will reflect your passion, because when they know that your passion reflects in their need, they will respond to you. It's an innate quality of leadership, but you can generate that and you can cultivate it and you can get better at it. It starts with listening, But then it goes with passion. I passionately am concerned about you. When's the last time you simply recognized someone in your group? Now, some of you do it all the time. I'm not being critical of anyone on this call, but I am asking us, when is the last time we recognized someone for simply doing what they said they do, or simply being who we already know that they are? The fact that they are recognized encourages them, and the fact that they see us, the leader, passionately striving to serve them and passionately working in their behalf for their well-being, they will respond. And if they do not respond, you can in time, and you have to make that determination, but you can in time stop performing for them, because they have to come to you and become part of your movement, a part of your business. One of the greatest challenges of our time and our culture is the victimhood mentality that it's owed to me, that somebody else is going to do it for me. The greatest statement I've ever heard that shatters that is, the way out of your problem is through your problem. If you don't have enough money, it's your problem to go find it, create it, and solve it. If you don't feel good about your life, it's your responsibility to assess it, to take a look at it, to recognize where the problems lie, learn what it takes to correct those problems, speak frankly with the people in your life who are creating challenges for you, and then give them opportunity to come with you to a new place. We have to stop, and not that you do, but leaders shatter victimhood mentalities, and they do it through love, they do it through example, they do it with passion, and they do it with purpose, which comes to vision, which comes to knowing where we're going and whether or not you want to become part of that. Let's talk about being teachable. To keep leading, you have to keep learning. It's what you learn after you know it all that counts. That's John Wooden, Hall of Fame coach. Why should you keep growing? Because your growth determines who you are. Who you are determines who you are attracting. And who you attract determines the success of your organization. If you want your organization to grow, you have to remain teachable. The fact that you're listening to my voice means you're teachable, but you've got to stay there. Who do you need to recruit this week? Describe them for me. Describe them for yourself. I want someone who knows what they're doing. I want somebody who has a fantastic experience with the product. I want someone who needs to make some money. I want someone who already has level 10 skills in communication and in follow-up. I need that person. Well, you know what? If you ran into that person 10 minutes after you listened to this call, if they didn't see those qualities in you, they would not follow you. And you never know when you're going to meet that person. So your walk has to be a little taller. Your back has to be a little straighter. You have to have intent in your thinking, intent in your walk, passion in what you're trying to do, and people will respond to that. I promise you. We've all done it. How many of you been to a meeting, heard someone speak, and came out excited, on fire about being a part of what they were doing? I'm old enough and experienced enough that I'm pretty cynical, but when somebody can turn the page like that for me, I'm with them. I'm excited. In fact, a friend of mine that has been a public speaker for years and years, I didn't like what he did, and then I hadn't heard him for a long time, and I had a chance to listen to him one day, and darn if he didn't get to me. Darn if I didn't love what his message was. And yes, I went up to him afterwards, and I apologized for not believing in what he knew he was doing, and thanking him for reaching my heart in that moment and making me feel excited about life. And I can tell you today what he said that reflected with me and reverberated with me. It was simply this: don't die with your song still unsung. Man, I just went, wait a minute, no kidding. I got so many things I want to say. I've got so much I want to give. And I'm sitting here in my stupid cynicism, and I'm not getting it done. I don't want to be this anymore. The people around you are going to mirror your attitude. So be careful with that. Thomas Edison said that genius is 99% perspiration and 1% inspiration. If we did all the things we were capable of doing, we would literally astound ourselves. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. I know those of you on this call are not giving up, but we are so close to turning the page in our lives, every one of us on this call, that we merely have to understand it is our attitude that sets us apart. I had a coach in high school that said attitude isn't everything, but it's way ahead of whatever's in second place. I always liked that. Coach Garcia. Shout out to you, Coach. Hope you're doing well. The question becomes, how do you recharge yourself? You have to recharge yourself by listening to things, by reading things, by finding mentors. I know you listen to this call, and I'm grateful, and I hope I'm bringing you quality messages that can resonate for you and move things forward for you. Let me hit one more, and then I want to get to servanthood. You can't let your problems be a problem. You can measure a leader by the problems that they tackle and the fact that they're always looking for problems that are their own size. In other words, don't tackle huge problems, but solve problems that you're capable of solving, and then continue to grow and become better, and you'll be able to do greater things. When someone reaches the level of success we all dream of, they're performing at a level that we're not yet capable of. Leaders with good problem-solving abilities demonstrate 5 qualities. They anticipate problems. This is John Maxwell. They anticipate problems. They accept the truth. They see the big picture. They handle one thing at a time. And they don't give up on a major goal when they're down. I believe you're problem solvers. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. Continue that process. Now let me turn to my favorite, and then I'll wind this up. Servanthood or servant leadership. If you want to get ahead in this business, you have to put others first. I don't know what your destiny will be, but one thing I know, the ones among you who will really be happy are those who have sought and found how to serve other people. That's Albert Schweitzer, philosopher and humanitarian. The key to that is that everyone says, I want to help other people. If you truly want to help other people, you have to serve them. And serving other people, how many times do you see a leader who doesn't serve? If you think that being a leader is having the biggest car and the biggest house and the parking space at the company and the one that everybody wants to put on the plane first and fly back and forth all over the country and go to the meeting and go, yeah, there they are. If they don't get down on your level and help you and serve you and lead you and listen to you and have passion for your challenges and help you and uplift you and love you, they're not leaders. The true leader serves people, serves their best interests, and in so doing will not always be popular, may not always be impressive. But because true leaders are motivated by loving concern rather than a desire for personal glory, they are willing to pay the price. And when you pay that price, it's called leadership. I love it when someone says, I want to help others. And I say, great. I love that about you. How are you going to do that? And they have no idea. I find it interesting that someone will tell you that they should be a leader. And I say, great. Who do you serve on a daily basis or a weekly basis? Well, I work in this group. I attend this community church. I'm involved in this community service organization. That's wonderful. If they say, well, I go everywhere and I tell everybody how great I am, I don't think they're leaders. You need to be a leader. You need to serve people. You need to roll up your sleeves, get down in the dirt, and help lift people because you love them. And you know what'll happen, even if the dollars don't show up, which they will. But you know what'll happen? You'll be happy. I know that's true. All right, last deal, then we'll wind it. Here we go. Vision. You can seize only what you can see. A great leader has courage to fulfill their vision, which comes from passion, not position. Vision is everything for a leader. It leads the leader. It paints the target. It sparks and fuels the fire within and draws you forward, but it is also the fire starter for others who follow that leader. I hope that was helpful, friends. We have to build leaders. We either attract them, find them, or build them. So if you're not finding them, you need to build yourself. If you're not attracting them, you need to build yourself. If they're not showing up, you're not building them. These are a few of the qualities. There's many more. There's great books out there. There's all kinds of places to find this. There's many ways to find the qualities of leadership, but make an assessment of yourself. Go through the things that we talked about, being teachable, having a servant mentality, being a problem solver, be a mirror of your own attitude, listen, have passion, have character, be a person of action, look for action from others before you invest in them, be committed to the process, be a communicator, and finally have courage. We have a tremendous opportunity here. We have an opportunity to take what we don't have now and create it so we may have what we need and want in the future. I hope this was helpful. Listen to these qualities, assess them in your own life, find mentors to help you raise your ability to lead, and then let's begin building the people in our organizations that we need to make our organizations move, to get those bronze qualifications, to get those prime bonus qualifications. Build those people who will function and grow your business. And as you do that, I promise you will move from building to finding. That's my thought for today. Thank you so much. You're awesome. Take care, and I'll talk to you in 7 days. Good night.